Running Battle is a 1991 beat-em-up video game developed by Opera House and published by Sega for the Sega Master System console exclusively in Europe. The Sega Master System was known for various games that were exclusive to certain regions. The Sega Master System had a remarkable history of being not quite as successful in America, but reporting rather high sales in Europe, South Korea, Australia, and most remarkably, in Brazil, where Brazil still to this day enjoys Sega Master System games and consoles, even obtaining the fabled Sega Master System free. Running Battle is a brawler-type video game where the main character, Gray, has to eliminate a series of armed thugs that are trying to take over the city. The enemy leader's name is simply known as M, and he calls his troops the Soldiers of Darkness. Players can move left to right, fight with their bare hands, kick, jump, and use firearms such as a pistol, rifle, and a special power-up that allows Gray to run all the way through the level, jumping past obstacles and instantly defeating enemies. There are 5 levels in the game, divided into sub-levels, and end with a confrontation with a powerful boss. Each section of the game can be crossed over without defeating anyone, at least until the very end, in which case Gray must defeat a bare minimum number of enemies. Running Battle is a most curious game. There is not really that much information to talk about it in my typical documentary introduction sections of full game playthroughs, but I felt the need to record this game as it has a strange placement in my own personal life. In my youth, I owned a Sega Master System 2. It was the first video game console I ever owned, and I only ever possessed 3 games for that console. The Master System versions of Sonic the Hedgehog, Alex Kidd in Miracle World, and Running Battle. And I thought, despite this game having numerous flaws and not really being anything spectacular or mind-blowing, I still had fun with it in my youth, and I thought I would pay this game back for the fun memories by sharing it with every single one of you in an ASMR entertainment form. Thank you for allowing me to share this experience with you all, and I hope you enjoy it, my friends. And so, our story begins. The mysterious M and his Soldiers of Darkness operate in a shadowy part of the city called the Dark Zone. Sergeant Brody of the police force decided to put an end to their wanton killing, but he was stopped and ended by M. His partner, Detective Sergeant Gray, ventures into the Dark Zone with the intent of taking down M and avenging his partner. Gray will enter the Dark Zone and engage in a running battle. It will take fists, kicks, firearms, creative thinking, and determination to free the Dark Zone from the influence of M and the Soldiers of Darkness. Let us join Gray on their path to vengeance in Running Battle ASMR. This video is intended as a video with elements of ease to help people relax or perhaps find entertainment. Whether it is entertainment, relaxation, nostalgia, fun, anything that makes your life a little bit easier and happier. I hope this video is for you. So sit back and relax and prepare to witness Detective Sergeant Grey venture into the Dark Zone and take down M and the Soldiers of Darkness as we engage Running Battle ASMR. Take it easy, my friends. I got this. Please enjoy, and let us master the system. And welcome, my friends, to Running Battle ASMR. Join Sergeant Grey as he seeks out vengeance for the death of Sergeant Brody in the Dark Zone. America in the near future. The city at night is a frightening place, but nothing can instill fear like the Dark Zone. It used to be a city like many others until M and the Soldiers of Darkness took over. Anyone who dared to go anywhere near the Dark Zone learned the true meaning of terror. Sergeant Brody, at the top of his class at the National Police Association Academy, could no longer stand by and watch people being massacred. He went in alone to put an end to the evil M. Brody's partner, Detective Sergeant Grey, got wind of Brody's foolish idea. Too late to help him. Grey arrived at the edge of the Dark Zone to find Brody, mortally wounded. Hypnotist M were the last words that Brody ever said, and Grey set out to avenge their fallen partner and engage in a running battle to enter the Dark Zone and defeat M and the Soldiers of Darkness. Join Sergeant Grey in this quest for revenge, vengeance, revengeance in Running Battle ASMR. Let us begin. In Running Battle, it's a very simple combat system. Left, right, jump, crouch. You can punch and kick enemies. The Dark Zone has many fearsome foes, but we have power-ups like this super suit. This will power up our punches and kicks to take down foes much easier. And we have life power-ups to replenish of vigor and health. Grey must seek out to avenge their fallen partner, Sergeant Brody. To do this, we will not only do this with fists, but with firearms. Firearms are very useful in Running Battle ASMR, as they allow you to engage enemies from afar before they have the chance to harm you. Item drops are randomized, so you could obtain a firearm or many more types of power-ups and restorative items. As you can see, the ordinary pistol is doing well enough. We continue into the Dark Zone. Here is the gang's hideout. Now, the battle begins. The running battle. Please enjoy, my friends, as we seek out to avenge Sergeant Brody and take down the Soldiers of Darkness. Let us master the system and enter the Dark Zone. Now, with our firearms, we can dispatch enemies from afar before they become a threat. But don't take it lightly. They can move in rather quickly on your position. You get quite a few bullets. Dispatch them before they become a threat. Keep moving. That is key. Like you're playing a game similar to Doom. Stay still and you die. Keep moving. Blast enemies as they appear, minimize the chance they can damage you. And if they do get foolish enough to become close to Sergeant Grey, take him down with a barrage of fists and high kicks. We have a very powerful jumping kick attack that we can stack upon enemies, but it's very risky to use. Luckily, we got a life collect, replenishing our health. The body count is already stacking up, and we're barely into the dark zone. The soldiers of darkness are everywhere. We go through this door to a new area. Next, let's see what lies ahead. Keep blasting enemies and keep moving forward. Do not stay still. It really keeps you on edge, even though it's only one or the other side that enemies can spawn from. They come at you with such ferocity and speed that you must dispatch them quickly if you are to find success. The super suit is a very good power-up, empowering your punches and kicks. But we're going to stick to firearms. Keeping enemies at a distance is doing very well so far. A life power-up, excellent. We need to keep as much health as we possibly can for when we truly need it. This is a Sega Master System title. If you fail, you can continue your game, but you do not have many lives. You need to make every single life you have count and matter. Even though we're doing well so far, it doesn't take long for the plan to fall to ruin. So don't let your guard down. And most importantly, keep moving. Keep engaging in the running battle, blasting foes down left and right, and again. The body count is through the roof at the moment. This is a new collectible, a rifle. You get less bullets for the rifle, but it penetrates through enemies, allowing you to hit multiple enemies with one shot, and it's very powerful. Whereas the pistol is quicker, but gives you more bullets. It's down to your personal preference what you choose to do. But we've made it to the next section of the Dark Zone, where we will face a boss. Ahoy! We will be facing Captain Brass. A curious choice for a boss. The Dark Zone has a pirate. Oh well. Sergeant Grey must find their vengeance one way or another. Captain Brass attacks with his curved sword. Yeah, these guys have got curved swords. These enemies do a lot of damage to you when they eventually hit. This is why it's important to hold on to as much health as you possibly can. You cannot enter a boss battle with a weapon, so you need to be very strategic with your attacks. One more hit ought to do it. Captain Brass goes down with a furious flurry of fists and kicks. Captain Brass was tough, but even stronger enemies await. This is only a taste of what running battle has to offer. If you thought things were getting weird fighting pirates, wait until you see the further we get into the Dark Zone. You'll never find a greater hive of scum and villainy in the Dark Zone. Now we have environmental hazards as well as turrets. We have a super run power-up that we just used there. Whenever it appears, grab it immediately, and you will be able for 5 seconds to just sprint and run and battle all the way through the level without fear of harm. You need to be careful though. If you run too quickly, when the timer runs out, you could be over a pit, and fall to your doom. We're not ending this adventure in the Dark Zone so soon. I plan on seeing this all the way through to the end until Brody is avenged. But look, you cannot let up for even a moment. Enemies spawn everywhere, rapidly. You must be aggressive, you must be fast, and you must achieve victory. If you get lucky with drops of items, you will get life, weapons, and perhaps even a super run power-up to make it even quicker. It's all down to chance. The enemies may not be the smartest, but they are fast and powerful. Luckily, we're getting a pistol to use as a weapon, allowing us to keep the distance. When they get close, we will crouch and jab. While I do admire the rifle, we need to be very careful how we use it, as we do not have as many bullets as we would with a pistol. So the super suit, while fun, it's the second worst option, still viable, but a firearm will do the job just fine. And trust me, the enemies of the Dark Zone are not going to be fighting fair, and you will find this out later in this ASMR entertainment playthrough. I hope you're enjoying it so far. It's quick, it's violent, it's fast, it's a running battle. As you can see, it becomes significantly harder to defend against enemies with only your fists. Suddenly the life gauge doesn't seem so large now, does it? This is why it's important to keep firearms, and if you do not have a firearm, then use the super suit. Then you'll be able to dispatch enemies as quickly as that. We have even more environmental hazards, lasers and turrets, and now the enemies are using firearms too. Energy. Excellent. An extra life. You never know when we might need it. Trust me. Running battle isn't got too much to its gameplay. It's quite simplified, but the fact it has to be quite quick and decisive makes it a fun and quick little engaging experience to engage in. There's nothing too deep to it, but the fact that you have to play this with all the lives you're given and that's it. Otherwise, you're continuing back to the beginning of the Dark Zone. This adds an element of risk. You need to be quick and not screw things up. So we can rampage through the Dark Zone like this, even with enemies everywhere. Try and hit this turret. Eliminate some gunfire. Alright, making progress. They just keep coming. This is an insane body count, and we've only taken down one boss. Keep them coming. We're keeping high life at the moment, but it doesn't take long for it to deplete, especially when you get into some of the bosses later in the game. So I'm trying to err on the side of caution, but also extreme aggression, eliminating foes before they can damage Gray. But we make it to the next area, where we have a new boss, Killer the Kid. Now it's a Wild West theme as opposed to a pirate theme. Gotta watch out. There's Killer the Kid there, one of the henchmen of the Soldiers of Darkness, throwing Molotovs at us. He's quite mobile, but also gotta watch the distance because he will shoot you, and we do not have a firearm this time. We wouldn't want things to be too easy now, would we? Watch out for the gunfire. A jump kick does tremendous damage, but you have to tactically place it very carefully. Otherwise you will walk into Killer the Kid and take damage yourself. It's becoming more tricky to damage and avoid damage now at this point. Now you're getting a look into why running battle can be so challenging. You're doing all this in a single run. While you can continue the game from the last zone you entered, it's still a long journey if you make a mistake at the very end. 2 more hits, 1 more. Killer the Kid has been wiped out, defeated by Sergeant Grey. You killed Brody. You're wrong. It wasn't me. It wasn't you. If not you, then who did it? It was M. No! Help me! What's going on? What's wrong? Ah! Dead. But what killed him? Someone took out Killer the Kid before we could find the answers. All we know is whoever did take out Brody is somewhere in the Dark Zone. All we can do is continue our quest for revengeance. But our health is extremely low at the moment. It's a very dangerous position. Watching out for lasers, and now the enemies are using firearms themselves. This is why it's very important to have a firearm yourself. You have a very small gap to avoid turret and lasers. Take out the turret very carefully. Don't want to stand up too soon, otherwise we'll get blasted. Luckily, a life collection just spawned, and so did a super run. With the super run, we were able to cut through just about half of the level in a single swoop in only 5 seconds. We still gotta be careful though. It doesn't take long for our health to deplete, especially when so many enemies are attacking us at once. It's a lot to process. Rip and tear until it is done. Through the door, we continue into the Dark Zone. We've got a super suit and we're getting a lot of life power-ups, so we're keeping our health as high as we want it to be at the moment. And now, we have a firearm. This will make things much easier. So we'll hold off on getting a super suit. The super suit expires over time, whereas the firearm only stops when we run out of bullets or replace it. Grab the life. Enemies extremely aggressive. Sometimes they can jump right on top of you before you know you can do anything. That's why you've got to react quickly. Think like Grey. Go through this as quickly as you possibly can while maintaining your own life. Blast these enemies. Watch out for turrets. Shoot from behind cover. We have no bullets left, so it's okay to grab this super suit. Another life collect. Excellent. Just what we need. A firearm as well. Life. Now they're starting to throw grenades. A rifle. Let's use it. They're getting smart enough to duck. That's what I get for saying that they weren't the most intelligent. The AI is gradually getting stronger, but the rifle blasts them away, regardless of their strength. This is why you get so few bullets for the thing after all. Super run. Gotta go fast, huh? We were almost supersonic racing there. Alright. It is extremely satisfying when you're able to get the Super Run power-up. It reminds me of the game Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow the Hedgehog? That's me. Yeah, in that game you could use chaos control to zip through the map in a short space of time. Oh, well, look out for Samrai Man. Is that spelled right? Well, Shadow, this is one of the flaws of running battle. While you have some cool visuals and interesting boss fights, the game is not without its flaws, one of them being translation issues. They spelled samurai wrong. S-A-M-U-R-A-I. S-A-M-U-R-A-I. They just called him Samurai. Gotta watch out for this guy, though. Despite the poor translation, he does a hell of a lot of damage to you when he hits. He's quite mobile. We might lose our first life to this foe. And we have. Luckily, we keep a spare. Keep damaging them. Luckily, losing a life, you respawn in the boss battle, as opposed to restarting it. With pressure, we pin Samrai Man to the wall and finish him off. So you killed Brody. I don't know any Brody. Maybe your boss knows more. Who is Samrai Man's boss? Guess we're gonna have to find out. You want to see M? Tell me where he is. His ESP will destroy you too. ESP, psychic powers. We're getting close to the end of the dark zone. We need to watch out here. Now, this is very important for people wanting to play running battle for themselves. It's very unassuming, but up here in the wall is a switch. Not hitting this switch will trigger a different ending for the game. By hitting it, if you complete the game, you will get the true ending. By finding this woman here. If you do not hit the switch, you'll never find her. Who are you? I'm Mary. Who are you? I'm Gray. M killed my partner. What happened? His name was Brody and he's my brother. I'll avenge him for us both. The next boss. Milacle Man. Unfortunately, thanks to poor translation, we are fighting Milacle Man. But let's ignore that. Unfortunately, we don't have the power of chaos control to help us. But we do have something a little more devious. This boss has an absolutely ridiculous amount of health. But we can pin them against the wall and get multiple strikes in before they have a chance to recover. Trust me, we need to abuse this. If we fail in this section, we need to go through Samrai Man's level, fight Milacle Man, and the next opponent all in a single go. So you'll have to forgive me for being completely and utterly brutal, ruthless, and cheap. But you know, I can make miracles happen as Milacle Man goes down to Sergeant Gray. I know you are Brody's killer. Yes, we killed him. What? You didn't do it alone? Of course not. M rules all. The true threat. Welcome to your doom, Gray. Prepare to pay for your crime. I will avenge Sergeant Brody. For myself and for Mary, Gray vs. Mr. M, the final showdown in running battle ASMR. Let's do this. Let's master the system, my friends. The final encounter. If we mess this up, we need to go all the way back and continue from the start of Samrai Man's level, defeat Samrai Man and Milacle Man. No. This is why we kept these extra lives. The final boss does an absolutely monstrous amount of damage. We have 20 hit points, and a hit is taking off 6. And that's because we're lucky. The enemy needs to be hit 60 times to go down, but we will take down M, because the M stands for mastering the system. With very careful time, we can jump on top of the turret and keep drop-kicking them. Look at this. The final boss absolutely deletes our health. This is why we need to use every life we can. And with one final kick, M's mechanical creation goes down, concluding running battle. Now Brody can rest in peace. Gray has avenged the death of their fallen partner, Sergeant Brody, and rescued their sister, Mary. The Dark Zone is restored to peace. And as brief as it was, this concludes Running Battle ASMR. This is a short little ASMR entertainment experience, but I hope you've enjoyed it, my friends. It's a simple, short adventure. As quick as you are when you run as fast as you can. Thank you for joining me, my friends, and I'll see you in the next great adventure as we master the system. Take care, my friends.